Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode back from Gen Con of TableTakes. I'm so excited to see you, and as always, I'm here with my fantastic friends and wonderful co-hosts. We've got Peter Atkinson, Javion, and Bonsai. Of course, we've got Marcus just doing the dang thing behind the scenes. But let's kind of get into what I think we all want to know immediately, which is, hey JVI, how's your Gen Con?
Gen Con was great. I got to do the Good Morning Gen Con and Gen Con Tonight show with two of my three favorite people. We ran around Gen Con. We sat in that giant monster. Well, we didn't sit in it. We were told we were going to sit in it. We got to take a picture with the big monster truck. That was pretty cool. I learned a bunch of games like Hero Quest I'd never played before. Totally buying that as soon as I get a chance. And I also picked up a bunch of cool stuff for the show, but also, just like stuff that I thought was really cool. I want to show you a couple of them.
Oh,
What?
no, I was gonna be like, show me your favorite loot, but you're like, you got a couple. No, let's
No,
bring
I
it
just want
on. Bring it
just
on.
two, just two.
Bring it on.
So this
Oh,
is a graphic novel that we got from Oni Press called Chef's Kiss. It is an LGBT romance novel, graphic novel, about a college graduate who's trying to find their way in the world. And my favorite part is that he keeps trying to find a job, but they always need experience. You always have to have some like 3 years of experience to get a job, literally anywhere, even like a garbage dump. So then he gets to work at a chef's kitchen with another guy that he's really into, and then romance sparks. It's really cool. And it was written in part by one of my favorite people, Jarrett Melendez. I actually got to meet him at Oni Press at their booth at Gen Con. We hit it off. We're good friends now. So, making connections.
Would you give the book
A chef's kiss, yes. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's beautiful. Mwah, mwah. All the design, all of the story, all of the writing is really, really great. Speaking of writing and story, it's really great. I also picked up Tiny Taverns. Tiny Taverns is the next edition of Tiny Dungeon, which you all and I got to play recently, a couple months ago, or I think just like 1 month. Anyway, Tiny Taverns, you'll note, is different because it's all about a tavern, and it's sort of like the sequel to any adventure. You're retired adventurers, you're heroes. You just want to wind down and relax and start a tavern with all your adventuring party friends, and then you get up to wacky shenanigans and antics. It's slice of life, kind of like a sitcom, or like a rom-com or something like that, where the stakes are super low, but you get to just sort of have fun. It's a little bit more lighthearted fun. Like what happens when your boss and the newest employee gets stuck in the freezer together, and they have to like figure out like the entire episode that day is just them two duking it out, just having conversations while everybody else is trying to get them out or waiting for the locksmith to
I
arrive.
just want to know, can you have shenanigans of the non-wacky variety?
Probably not. Wacky is the only way to play when you're playing in a fantasy world, I think. Well, that's what you're going to get from me when I run it for all of you next week. Yep, I'm gonna show you guys
I'm
Tiny
excited.
Taverns. So I hope you got
so
your
excited.
D6s ready because it's going to be really fun.
Always. And Bonsai, how was your Gen Con?
I had a lot of fun, especially doing that LARP session, the Eldritch Horror LARP section by Eldritch Entertainment. That was really fun. Also, one of my favorite things that I got. So I got Arc Nova. So I ended up getting a copy of myself for this game. I'm actually going to play it later on after the stream today. I specifically had to only invite a certain amount of my board gaming people because it's you have limited players, and we have usually a group of 7 people that we play board games with. So we had to like, who do we strategically invite so we could play all the 4-player board games that we have that we bought? So we chose favorites. Actually, just the people who are the closest that could actually come in and drop a hat and play with us. So
is there a
I'm
wait list
excited.
to get on the to get into the group? Is there like a sign up sheet or?
Oh no, there's not a wait list. We just have a lot of friends that we know, even roped in. Like when we have people, we just rope them in and invite them to my house. We even got our next door neighbors in on board games as well, and we're slowly expanding. We have more board game friends than we have space for. It's a problem. Like it's been a hassle to like how do I balance all the groups? But yes,
all the people that are close to you, so it'll never be
all the
okay.
and then also I did a lot of fun going around Artist Alley, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it that well, but I have a lot of stickers from Artist Alley there. We got an Owlmere Crossing
Ooh.
sign. We got some witchy vibes going on. Alcoholic hair. Some sea lady with a baby squid and a burger pigeon. Because yeah.
Nice.
There's a lot of art. I like sticker bombing the heck out of things.
Do you like resin your stickers to your bottle, or is it just sticker?
No, these are stickers. Now, hey, did you know that stickers come in higher qualities, and you can get vinyl cut stickers that are waterproof, and once you stick it on there, it's like solidly on there, and it's got heat resistance and stuff. There's a higher grade to stickers now that you can purchase.
You should talk stickers after the show.
Wait, dunk on me. All right. And last but certainly not least, Peter, we gotta know what your Gen Con was like.
Well, it's weird. I always have this thing of like, how do I describe? I don't even know what I do at Gen Con. I just know I'm really super busy. It defies explanation. But I do remember a few things. I remember I ran a whole bunch of D&D games at Gen Con. Like I came in early, like 4 or 5 days ahead of time, and spent most of the lead up days running D&D games. D went bananas in the exhibit hall and came back with like, I don't know, 20 games. I'm not
nice.
Sure. There's this huge pile of them on our dining room table, and as we play them, we put them away. So like, okay, we can't. This game is going to be stuck on our dining room table until we play. We found a couple. Machina is a game. It's like she bought this one right off the bat because she used to work. She still works in supply chain management and corporate compliance. And so this is the factory where you're making robots, and kind of like Robo Rally in a way. Only it's more the manufacturing of these robots. It's a really fun game. There's a game called Book of Knowledge, which is a card game, and it came. It's from the indie. It's an indie game, and it has Arabic lettering on the front, so you don't even know what the name of the book is until you like open it, or the game is until you like open it up and look inside and get the English translation. But it turned out to be a really good game. We really liked it. I took it to ride San Francisco. Anyway, so on and so forth. How about you, Noir? How was your Gen Con?
Yeah,
my Gen Con was it was really fun. This is the first time that I was working it, and I put together our Even Genius Games play like the playroom with volunteer GMs, and it went so well to just see it all come together. But when it comes to loot, one of the favorite things that I got, I have to show you something. I'll be right back. Yeah.
Well, while he's gone, I want to just say like a big shout out to Noir for the one of my highlights was the opening ceremony that we got to do together. Me, Bonsai, Noir, all of us were on there at different times, kind of in different combinations. But yeah, that was super fun.
That was fun. That absolutely. It's probably my favorite part of Gen Con is the opening ceremonies. And so it was nice to be able to do it with all three of you.
It's the opposite of the hardest part where you have to say goodbye.
So just really quickly, this is Prince fighting the Prince and Queen beating up the Queen. And it's my favorite thing ever.
That's awesome.
So that's one of my favorite things that I got. But speaking of one, I think there's some major news around that number. And it's not that it's the loneliest number. So if we could have somebody just kind of fill me in on what's big with one in the TTRPG community right now.
Uh-oh.
Wow. If you guys haven't been paying attention, WotC, let me go ahead and put my congratulations hat. I was right all along. Y'all were saying, oh no, it's not going to be that bonsai, but they do. They have officially announced, WotC has officially announced the next iteration of D&D called D&D 1. So the name comes from a combination, the intent to bring three of their products together. That is the D&D rules, D&D Beyond, and D&D. Get this, digital play experience. They're gonna give roll for it for its money, basically.
What?
Ooh, they're coming out with additional. It might have been some kind of global something that happened that made it so people couldn't actually physically get there in time or have a physical game, but suddenly there is a need for a digital experience of virtual tabletop games, maybe something like Tabletop Simulator. But no, D&D is coming out with their official one. Playtesting is anticipated to continue to 2023. The current rules, by the way, you can actually play test some of the rules right now. Hopefully in chat, we'll go ahead and post the link to that. Right now, the current playlist rules only cover character origins. So some of the noteworthy changes that they say is that a lot of the changes to basic races in D&D, humans now can be in whatever size category they want. That's including folks who, you could be a small, you could be a large. Also, what is it called? Tieflings can choose their fiendish legacies. Asmari are now Ardenlings and can choose their celestial legacies. Orcs are now just a base race. And almost all the races have some sort of active ability as opposed to passive ability that they can use in everyday use. I think they're also kind of just saying that all the races can mix, so there's not really a need for percentage of how much orc you have, how much elf you have. They're kind of erasing the half orc, half system, and just be like, every race can mix. I mean, if you really want to note how much of a different path you are,
do a 23andMe for your D&D character.
Yeah, you can do 23andMe for your D&D, but it's mostly just to be like, yeah, no, there's no you can go ahead and self-identify as whatever race you want to be in this.
Right.
Also, the backgrounds are more impactful. You can design so basically now your backgrounds are more important. They give you feats, ability scores, 2 skill proficiencies. It's just now your backstory will actually add to your character versus racial traits adding to your character.
Wow, interesting.
Yes. And then feats are more common and character defining. So a lot of feats have been reworked to be more powerful and always include some kind of bonus feat that's benefiting their particular group. There's just a lot. And then also they're bringing back conditions as key words. They kind of took that away in 5th edition, where they're like, if you have the condition slowness, that is just going to be big highlighted. Yes, you are going to be slow. You're not going to run fast. That is a condition you have. And there's no kind of wiggle room around it. Let's see. And also they are making it a hard state rule that nat 20s are great. They're super great. You get a inspirational point for that. And on the first slides, natural ones are in fact canonly critical failures now. So you have the God's blessing and the devil's curse all in one. That is a rule that they took away, of course, I believe in 4th edition. And now they are bringing it back as a hardcore rule. So you can't fudge it. They're like, now you have consequences.
I will say, I did do a little bit of research on the critical failure stuff and the critical success stuff. A lot of people think it's not in D&D. It's actually really hidden deep down in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's more about DM fiat. It's whatever your DM decides they want to do. If they want critical failures, they can be. But now it's a hard rule. It's in fine print now.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Now it's also, spell lists are now combined across many classes, and there's going to be distinct ways of magic. So bards, sorcerer, wizards, warlocks all share the same spell list. Clerics, paladins, same spell list. Druid, rangers, same spell list. So instead of having each individual spell list, they combined it into 3 separate different schools.
Okay, that's gonna help a lot with new players who are jumping in. It was which spell list do I use, and dipping into other spell lists. That's cool.
What? Oh, Noir, you have words about
No,
this?
no,
I see
no.
it. I see it. There's words. What?
Oh, no. Listen. My favorite class is the Paladin, and one of the things is critical hits now apply only to weapon damage.
Yes. Not to spell. That's to nerf all magic users because you're
Oh.
too powerful.
So that
That's the
means
next thing. Yes.
as a Paladin, when I crit, only my sword damage is doubled, not my smite damage.
Nope. That was what I was just about to go.
Listen to me when I tell you, I have never been more upset.
Well, that's to kind of help out because a lot of the complaints in a lot of these, like every edition, is that magic users are a little too OP at a certain point.
I agree.
And us poor melee folks without any magical abilities, and I'm gonna whack you with our sword, need some kind of extra.
I am a melee class with magical abilities.
But not
And
everyone
I'm
has
getting
magical abilities.
nerfed to help me? I don't like it. I want my smite damage, all the D8s. I want them all, and they took them from me. And
We're gonna have to get Noir's pacifier. I think he's having his tantrum. We're just gonna let him like
we'll
blossom
let him-
stage.
Yeah.
Noir. It's all right. Noir, chat feels your agony. I think so. The one big thing that they want to go ahead and iterate with 1D&D is that Chris Perkins and Watsy are both saying that 1D&D will be backwards compatible, and what they actually want to do is get away from the words of additions and just make it a continuous thing. Like this is the one ring to rule them all, to combine them in their nerdom. They're just gonna, this is no longer gonna be an addition based thing. This is gonna be just a continuous thing that is updated, and this is what you use for everything. So throw out all the additions. Now it's just this. This is the thing.
Okay. So you're saying it's backwards compatible with 5e, meaning that all the rules that have already been in existence for 5e are going to be brought in to 1D&D plus these new changes.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
I would think that the compatibility would be more about the material, not necessarily bringing the rules forward, but like if you have a 5e character or a 5e module, it should work okay with whatever we're going to call this, 1D&D, 1D?
1D?
I don't know. Anyway.
One Direction and Dragon?
1D&D.
my palabards, like just.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that working like that. I could see it working like the material is backwards compatible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
okay.
so it looks like, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, this is really more than, this is a new edition because there's all sorts of big changes and stuff like that. But there's a nice long list here of things that are changing, but none of these changes are like to the basic system itself, really. I mean, none of these changes feel as big as the change from second edition to third, or third to fourth, or fourth to fifth, or D&D to AD&D for that matter. You know, it's like they're not changing like how spells work. They're not changing, you know, like when we went from THAC0 to rolling D20. They're not changing how like skill points in third edition, you know, got changed to proficiency bonuses and stuff like that. I don't see anything in here that I would consider a fundamental change to the structure of the rules.
And they're combining a lot of different things together with it. So I don't know. Yeah, to that point, rules changes, they don't seem as huge, but system changes, I think, are pretty huge. Like they're bringing the digital format in, they're bringing D&D Beyond into all of the rules that they have. So hopefully this just makes it a lot easier for people to find a hub where they can find all of their stuff.
Chris
I think if they can, I mean, one thing, anytime somebody makes a decision about Dungeons and Dragons, all it takes is a generation, a management change or an ownership change, and that decision, the new people make new decisions, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's really good if they can stick with the idea of getting away from editions, because then everybody argues about edition wars, and every time they do a new edition, it isolates older edition players. If they can make it work that the fundamental system doesn't change and we keep everything basically moving forward, I don't know, I think it's a good move. I mean, obviously, now Noir, I would say these are only like the playtest rules. Now, probably in playtesting, if you're right, probably in playtesting, there'll be a big revolt about how this shouldn't apply to Paladin Smite, and you'll be fine.
I need all my Paladin players to get together, and we need to make a fuss. Or I need to meet the developers outside. I just want to talk. But speaking of talking, oh, hold on. You should be able to hear me now.
I can hear you. It's just a little quiet.
It's very quiet. Got to turn it to 11, Noir.
Yes.
Okay, how about
now?
Yes.
There we go.
There
The
it
word
is.
now, it all came together.
I think my computer was trying to do me a favor with my future in the TTRPG community. Let's just, you can only challenge Jerry Crawford to a fight so many times. But speaking of battles, you know what battles often do? They break ground. And today we're going to talk to you about some indie groundbreakers. The Indie Groundbreaker Award winners have been announced, and I'm gonna tell you a couple of them. So hold on to that. Hold on to your butts here. First, we have Most Innovative, which goes to My Body Is a Cage, a slice of life RPG where you live a normal, boring life during the day, but go dungeon crawling in your dreams. As you collect coins in your dreams, you grow richer in real life. It has some novel mechanics like a bingo-based progression system and a neat D100 system for generating your 6 stats. I believe there was a song that was going to be sung by someone.
My body is a cage. That keeps me from death. Okay, I can keep going, but I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna spare the audience the rest of that.
That's all I ever wanted.
I want to play the game just because I love that song so much. That sounds awesome.
Well, I mean, I want to play it because it won the Most Innovative Award. Like, that's a bingo-based progression system. I can't even imagine how that would go, but I am definitely down to try it.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
If only we had a show where we tried out new games to play.
Yeah, I wonder.
Do you want to run it? Because I want to play so bad.
If we could get our hands on a copy of the game, I'd be more than happy.
But my question is whether the converse applies. Like, can you go and wake up the next morning and find out that you spent a bunch of money in your dreams and the money's gone, like, from your bank account?
Listen, I can tell you for a fact that you get enough Smirnoff in me, and yes, you can do that.
Yeah. You get possessed during the day, and it's like, it's all a dream. No, it's real.
I mean, I think it's got to work both ways. I'm just saying. I think it's got to work both ways.
Let's just say that Drunk Noir is not nearly as fiscally responsible as Sober Noir. Best art was won by a fantastic Longing for Adventure. It was made by Tim Hutchings of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire Note, which I've heard so much about 1,000-Year Vampire.
Oh, it's so good.
Definitely an amazing game. Please go and check that out. But you can probably infer something as to the art quality from the fact that, it won an award. 2,000-Year-Old Vampire was because that game also has just beautiful art. The game's gimmick is that players are all working from the same page of rules, but color filters mean that each player is limited to see a different portion. So you've got your own rules and everybody has their own, which is really
what if
cool.
you're colorblind though too? Like,
I am.
See certain... Oh, maybe you might not be.
That means I get to play on hard mode.
I
I play on expert.
It still might work, right? Because the filters are making, even if you don't see the color correctly, depending on the nature of color of your color blindness, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you just see it as grayscales, you'll still see.
I have a hard time between reds and browns. And sometimes oranges, which makes my friendship with Bonsai very interesting.
That's when you just say hi to everybody. I was like, that person's not even that orange.
I promise you there was a doppelganger of Bonsai Action Con. Anyway, best rules went to Gun and Slinger, a 2-player game, GM optional, where one player takes on the role of a gunslinger and the other player plays as the sentient weapon. The resolution mechanic for the game combines poker and Go Fish somehow. I don't know how to play poker or Go Fish, so I would be lost. Next, we have Best Setting. Best Setting was taken by Archon, City of Neon Daylight, a 174-page cyberpunk game all set in a single megacity. With most of the source book devoted to the setting, that makes for a hefty setting for an indie project. If you're a fan of cyberpunk, definitely give this a look. It's really neat. And I love the art for this. But the big one, Game of the Year. Game of the Year went to Brave Zenith, a post-fantasy tabletop RPG set in a world inspired by Brazilian culture and a long summer nights playing JRPGs. So, listen, I don't think it gets any better than that. So congratulations to all our Indie Groundbreaker Award winners. And you know what? I think I want to celebrate more people who have done fantastic things. Let's find some more award winners. Well, where can we do that though? JV, you got any ideas?
I sure do, Noir. You might have heard of an award series called the Ennies. Actually, you might have seen them at Gen Con because that's where they were announced. Yes, on Gen Con weekend, I believe on Saturday of that weekend, the Ennie Awards were announced. So we are going to go over some of them. There are a lot of winners, but we're just going to go over the big winners, such as Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Thirsty Sword Lesbians, in addition to being nominated for Best Interior Art and Best Cover Art, ended up winning Best Game and Product of the Year. For those of you who don't know, Thirsty Sword Lesbians is a role-playing game for telling queer stories with your friends. You've got flirting, sword fighting, and it uses the Powered by the Apocalypse system. And you can use a lot of different character types such as Beast, Chosen, Devoted, Infamous, Nature Witch, Scoundrel, Seeker, Spooky Witch, very different from the Nature Witch, and finally the Trickster. It's a very interesting game. We've heard a lot about it, published by Evil Hat Games. Congratulations to the Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Also winning the Best Cover Art and Best Family Product this year is Wander Home. Wander Home is a very, very special game. It's a pastoral fantasy role-playing game about traveling animal folk, like humanoid animals. It's all about the world that they inhabit and the way the seasons change. It's a game filled with grassy fields, mossy shrines, and very, very cute things. So definitely check that one out with the link in chat. And then finally, we've also got Colossal. And let me tell you, you have probably never heard of a game like Colossal. First of all, it's a solo RPG, and it was nominated in 6 different categories, but it won for Best Rules for an RPG. It's a solo RPG, meaning you play it alone by yourself, turn down the lights, light a candle, hunker down with a pen and paper, because you are going to go through a colossal, which is basically the biggest castle. And when I say big, I mean like colossal, as in there are oceans, there are mountains, there are cities within its rooms in the castle. It is literally like there's no outside to this castle, colossal. It's everything that you do is inside it, and there are rooks who are the main monster or fiends in this game, where they are walking around just attacking anything that they see. But they're also they hold the Rookstone, the only source of magic in the world. Doesn't that sound exciting? It's really, really cool. Congratulations to Colossal.
All right. I get it. Colossal as in big, and also it's spelled like a misspelling of a castle. I like that. That's
Yeah,
clever.
play on word.
Yeah, yeah. You know what else is? You know what else is pretty clever? Planescape. That one went away from me. They all can't be winners. Peter,
I'll explain it to you. You think colossal is colossal. Planescape is more colossal than colossal ever dreamed of.
Wow.
So,
thank you for the assist on that one. I needed
there we
it.
go.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so some of you may remember Planescape campaign setting for Dungeons and Dragons back in second edition days. Its roots actually go back to AD&D days. Jeff Grubb had designed a cosmology based off of Gygax's original cosmology in AD&D, the Great Wheel, and he brought it out in Manual of the Planes. Manual of the Planes was a big hit and talked about how all the planes are related and how you travel to different planes. It just went more into depth about the planes. So Zeb Cook in 1994 came out with, as part of TSR, came out with the Planescape campaign setting. And it's based around the idea that in the middle of all the planes, conceptually, I don't know how can you be in the middle of a whole bunch of planes, but conceptually is the city of Sigil. And the city of Sigil has all these portals that take you to all the planes. So you can imagine it becomes kind of like Grand Central Station of the entire Planescape based universe for cosmology of D&D. There was this campaign setting was very well loved by a number of people, and it went on to also was the core of a great video game called Planescape Torment, which is probably was more popular than any other, or at least one of the most popular D&D based video games of all time.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming back.
Depressing.
Well, so, not as depressing as the new Smite rules in D&D.
That hurt.
So Wazzy's announced that they're coming out with a new Planescape package, if you will. It's going to have a source book, it's going to have a bestiary, it's going to have adventures, etc. One of the things will be interesting to see how they handle it. And traditional into Planescape with alignments were a really big deal because all the different alignment planes like Lawful Evil, Chaotic Good, and Chaotic Evil, and so on, all had factions in Sigil that were vying for power. And so it'll be interesting to see whether WotC is going to run with that idea or replace it with something else. Who knows? But definitely big news for anybody who was a fan of that original campaign setting. See what it comes back as.
And I think with some of the stuff we're seeing from the 1D&D playtest, where tieflings get to pick their Infernal Legacy, that's going to play really well in the Planescape because they'll be able to know exactly where in the cosmology
Grandma lives.
Yeah,
where my ancestors from, where my roots.
You can have a family reunion and it won't be fun.
Would it be like demonic 21andMe?
I'm still hurt about that. The Paladin comment. I'm laughing through the pain. No, but I'm super excited for Planescape to come back. I think I am much more excited for Planescape than like I know everybody's having a great time with Spelljammer right now, but Planescape is always my favorite place. So that's gonna be a good one.
This is gonna be an excellent companion for Journeys into the Radiant Citadel, which just came out, which has people traveling all across different planes and exploring new areas.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see them tie it in.
All I can tell you for sure is that I fully intend to embrace Planescape when it comes out. You can call me an embracer that way. Do we know any other embracers?
You're just one of a group of embracers.
What?
Okay, what Noir is alluding to here is that the embracer group, of which I don't think is one, has announced that they are acquiring Middle Earth Enterprises. Okay, so I'm here to break down what the heck that means. Okay, so first of all, thanks to Sean Prescott, PC Gamer, for breaking this for us. So Embracer Group is the parent company that for a vast and expanding roster of studios and publishers, including Asmodee, THQ Nordic, Gearbox, PlayOn, Saber Interactive. Is announced that it will acquire Middle Earth Enterprises. Now, Middle Earth Enterprises owns the intellectual property rights for The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and other Middle Earth related intellectual properties. They do not own the literary rights. The literary rights, novels, are owned still by the Tolkien estate. But basically, they, as owners of the other rights, they serve as effectively a master licensing holder for those rights. So, for that to be acquired by the same company that owns Asmodee, as everybody's speculating, oh my God, what's going to happen to other Middle Earth owned games? Well, I'm here to tell you that probably nothing, at least not in the near term, as they will have to honor the rights that have already been licensed out. So other companies that have film rights or TV rights or board game rights or trading card game rights, what have you, those licenses are in place and they're probably fine. So don't worry, the world's not going to blow up and your favorite Middle Earth product is probably not going to go away. But when those licenses come up for renewal, well, we'll see what happens. But rest easy for now.
For now.
For now.
I mean, you quickly mentioned it. Wizards announced they're having a partnership with Lord of the Rings on Magic, so it's very interesting that this is all going down. But I've already started talking about cards, and now I just want to keep talking about cards. Hey, Bonza, you think you can help me out with that?
Yeah, I could go ahead. I'll go ahead and tell a mission about cards that are just going against humanity. Not necessarily, but Cards Against Humanity has kind of, I don't know, in the midst of what we are in society today, there's a lot of debate on which side of the rules you can be on, what we believe in. But Cards Against Humanity is putting their foot down and stating that they are pro-choice and putting their mouth where their money is. Basically, they are donating 100% of their profits basically from states that are like basically anti-abortion states, saying that like, no, wait, we're going to go ahead and take that money that we get from these states and donate it to the people that need it, to the folks that need to get like basically help from a situation that of course their state will not allow them to take care of. So like, yeah, they are donating 100% of their profits to specifically the National Network of Abortion Funds, and plus also putting $100,000 on top of that. They're basically saying from like we make enough, we can give back to the community. So if you want to go ahead, depending on what organization you want to hold, and you want to support and get some cool cards and like basically cool funny cards at the same time, you can go in, buy some of their card packets, and that knowing that money is going to help somebody in need.
I love these scary posters because you guys know how much I hate scary stuff, but Cards Against Humanity went with like a different route with it. They've got scary posters that'll terrify you existentially, like with one of these that says, no matter what you eat, you will still die. So just like scaring all the vegans out there, you will become your parents.
Oh no.
Literally just telling you your worst fear. And of course, one that I never wanted to hear somebody tell me, it's too late to stop climate change. Give up. It's over.
No, we can terraform. Terraforming Mars told me we can terraform. I believe in technology.
So, for a spot of good news,
yes,
Kickstarter has announced that they will never tolerate abusive behavior, and they're enforcing that with a new feature that makes it easier for creators to take action. They have enabled creators the ability to flag abusive comments in their in creators comment section. So if you're unaware, because I have been a part of some of the projects that have experienced this, you will get some haters, for lack of a better word, that will back your project for $1 to get access to your comment section, so they can tell you a whole bunch of just not nice things. And really, there was nothing you could do about it before because they paid to get there. Well, now with this feature, creators can flag potentially abusive backers to Kickstarter's trust and safety team for review. Using this feature, a creator can quickly and easily let Kickstarter know about a backer they believe is harassing them. Comments from this backer will be immediately hidden from public view while their team reviews the creator's request and determines whether the backer has indeed violated the community guidelines and should be permanently removed. So we are permanently getting these people off of Kickstarter, which is, I believe, a very good start. So thank you very much, Kickstarter, for helping to make the internet just slightly less awful.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see that some of the management changes that have gone into place for Kickstarter are turning for the better. I've seen some
Right?
positive change, which is really, really
Yeah,
good.
I hope that this model that Kickstarter is using hopefully branches out to other websites that also allow people to just kind of like, there's it's kind of hard to find the real comments about certain games, certain board games, certain things in media, because either the hate parade has become thing, or like it's both sides of the spectrum for me. There's either the hate parade that goes in just saying something is bad without actually experiencing it or anything like that, and also vice versa. It's like, I don't like people who don't give honest opinions of something just because they like it, but they never experienced it, and so they're going to give it a vote. I want real votes. I want real things, and blocking people from just going in and hate rating on a place is great. And so hopefully other companies follow it.
Absolutely. You put that so beautifully. I'm going to temporarily take off the reins of host, and I am going to allow you to be the boss.
Delegate.
To be the boss, baby. Just go ahead and take over this thing.
I will take over. Thank you very much. The mic was. Oh wait, hold on. Actually, hold on. I'll do this. The mic has been handed to me, as you can see right here, folks. Hello, I am now the boss. I have the mic. I have the power. I am the bundle boss, baby bonsai. Anywho, today we're gonna go ahead and show you the bundle of holding, which is, I know, it's a sad RPG. It's never going home. It's a war, like basically a weird World War I story where basically like World War I was bad in reality. Like a lot of horrific things happened, but now there's more horrific things that happen in this RPG book. It's like the veil has dropped. Never Going Home is based off of the 1916 battle of Summerto, or like basically the veil between the earth and the occult went down during this war, and now part of a unit of soldiers in the trenches surrounded by horrors of combat witness basically corruption leaking into the world. The whispers tempt you into promising powers to save your friends. Will you give up your humanity to save another person? So that's what it is about. So for just about this is of course US currency, $12.95, you can get all 7 titles of Never Going Home collection, basically retailed at $65 US currency, as a ebook, including the complete Never Going Home core rulebook, the Magic Supplement, Books of Whispers, and the Tome of Corrupted Beasts and Bestiaries, 3 campaign dossiers, including Blood in the Snow, Tears in the Sea, and Bones in the Dust, and a collection of short scenarios once more, Onto the Breach. So it's like basically taking the actual horrors of war and making it worse.
Yeah.
But it's about questioning your humanity and what price you would pay to save somebody else's life. So if you want, I am very excited. My like we bought this book at Gen Con so we could play it in one of our games. We're going to combine it with the Dread rules. So with
Smart.
this setting, I'm excited to feel pain and sadness.
Yes.
But yeah, I
Tragedy and
recommend
horror
it.
bring people together.
Sounds fun.
I'm so sorry. I feel
Can't
like
wait.
this. I'm very excited about this, but also I realized that the topic of the story is really sad. There
Really
we go.
fun.
That's my bundle.
I love morbid role playing. I don't see what all the controversy's about. This sounds great.
What is wrong with you?
Well, but that makes it's okay. So, like, here, you want to know why? It's because if you virtually experience the horrors of life, and like, I love going to haunted houses. I love horror film theory, because then you see that normal life is great and it's awesome because you're not in a hellscape.
I found that when people try to scare you in a haunted house, if you sing AWOL Nation Sail at them, they'll be very confused. Anyway, it's time for us to move on to crowdfunder court. That's right. You're all going to present to me your best crowdfunding projects. And should I find them lacking, I will shake my head slowly at you.
No!
Yes. It'll be like this.
Oh,
I
the
might even zoom in.
Oh, that okay. Nobody.
Noir
that,
Papa,
okay.
please give me your approval. Noir Papa.
So
Fate worse than death.
I believe I'm going to give Bonsai another chance to not make me cry. Present to me your crowdfunding project.
Well, for the court to peruse today, I give you the Clockwork Circus issue 2. This product is by Rem Alternus, a woman-owned, nerd-focused media production group. Hint, hint. They may also have a show on Gen Con TV, Roll with Artemis, at 4 p.m. on Thursdays, maybe, if you wanted, or Blood in the Clock Tower as well. I'm just saying, if you want to go ahead and see who we're talking about in person, Thursday, Gen Con TV, they have the show. But other than that, we have basically it is a steam-powered world of a troupe of circus performers, like basically rushing to save the world. Like basically, it's a new steampunk fantasy adventure. This is in fact a comic book, not like a RPG book or anything like that. This is a adventure that has been had in a role-playing group. They already had released issue 1, which, if you want to know the story, 2 young halflings, Drum and Amari, begin their journey to unravel the truth behind the dark legend. Seeking truth that could not be found in their native lands, they venture forth into a world never could be imagined. That was already the first issue. By the way, the art for this is amazing. If you haven't seen it, just go ahead and click on the link so you can see how pretty it is. It just got whimsy, fantasy, steampunk elements that everyone will love. This issue, issue number 2, is after nearly avoiding disasters in the streets of Merkadashta. Sorry, this is a very hard name. I am sorry, I butchered that. Merkadashta.
None of us could have pronounced this one correctly, Bonsai. Don't worry.
But Drum and Amari are escorted by their saviors to someone who may help them on their quest to uncover secrets of the book. So yeah, it's really great. There's of course various different tiers that you can donate to, 1 to all the way up to $1,000, depending on how much you want to go ahead and support this new comic book adventure, especially if you're like, man, I really want to see more fantasy, steampunk, very like diversified artwork as well. In there, I highly recommend it. And also, if you want to know some people who, like I said, one of the producers of the show, or producers of this book, is live on Gen Con. You could probably ask some stuff about this, at Thursday, starting from 10 all the way down to 4. Just check it out. But yes.
This court is rigged. You got the easy one. You got to talk about the one that has a show from Gen Con TV in it. I mean, come on.
I cannot be dealt with what cause have been bestowed upon me for the great Gen Con gods. Thank you very much.
I find your project presentable.
Thank you, Papa. I'm glad you approve of it.
Yes. Peter!
Yes, Your Honor. I come forward with a proposal for the court for consideration. A documentary, my lord, based on Magic the Gathering. Oh, yes, I recognize that I have conflicted interests on this particular project, but that should not be held against my client. Igniting the Spark is the name of this documentary, and it is made by three amazing filmmakers, Kelly Slagle of Gabriel Productions, Seth Pulaski, and Brian Stillman. Now, if those names sound familiar, Your Honor, so you probably remember Eye of the Beholder, which was a documentary that they did several years back about the history of TSR art, where they had all this beautiful art that they covered. And they had artists like Jeff Easley and Todd Lockwood and so on. Really beautifully done. These with that documentary, they proved that they can do film great interviews with really nice camera work, good audio work, and stitch it all together to tell a great story. And I think they think there's every reason to believe. The evidence suggests that they will do this again. They've interviewed over 50 people already. Richard Garfield, Jesper Meerfors, Lisa Stevens, Beverly Marshall Saling, Mark Rosewater. No, don't panic, Your Honor. I'm not going to list all 50. But they've interviewed a number of people. Oh, and moi. Yes, I was interviewed as well. And yeah. Yes, so I can vouch for the quality to a certain point for sure, right? So yes, I think all seriousness, I think this is going to be an excellent documentary from some excellent filmmakers about the creation of Magic the Gathering, how it came to be.
Okay. I find your project acceptable.
Oh,
Javier!
Get up there.
my liege, I have presented. I have for you two offerings. If you should find one unfavorable, you have another to choose from. Today we have Dead Reckoning, Letters of Mark from AEG. And a very well-known designer you may recognize, John D. Clare, creator of such fabulous treasures as Space Base and Mystic Vale. In fact, mechanics from Mystic Vale have found their way into this pirate adventure game, Dead Reckoning, which is a game all about exploration and card crafting and cube towers, where you stack little cubes up to show how your ship works. You are creating your crew on the fly. You are interacting with the other players, trying to get the upper hand, and you're playing with different expansions and sagas, actually. This Kickstarter is saga number 3, Letters of Mark, which features 2 distinct interconnected sets of expansion content named The Flags of the Old World and Prime Cargo, which is included in Flags of the Old World, as well as the second, which is a new saga called, like the prior saga expansions, contains encounters, mysteries, cards, and content, all to be discovered organically while you play the game. So taking that legacy expansion thing from Space Base, but also taking the card crafting stuff from Mystic Vale, it's all of the best John D. Clare games in a pirate adventure. What's not to love? However, you gotta jump on it real quick. So if you're watching the VODs later on after the show's over, it's gonna be too late because there's only 2 hours left. You got 2 hours. You got till 4:00 p.m. PST in order to sign up for Dead Reckoning. So I hope you have your tricorn hats ready to go. And
objection, Your Honor! Objection! How could we possibly be ready to fund in that short of a timeline?
I know this displeases me.
Don't worry. Hold on. If you didn't like that one, I've got an even better crowdfunder. You're gonna love this one. If you don't love this one, then I can safely say I don't know Noir Enigma. This one is
Put
called
it on the line.
This one is called the Necro Hamster.
Oh,
Necro Hamster is a card game. One of Noir's favorite things. It's a charming little card game for 2 to 4 players, and it's so great. It plays in only 5 to 15 minutes. It's a quick startup to play. The setup is so super easy. I'll just lay out some cards on the table, pick a starting player, and give them a card. And then you draw some cards and you summon creatures. Lots of hamsters, lots of other kinds of creatures. Do you want to know what some of those creatures are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
So
like to know.
there's some very cute ones, such as the skeleton rabbit, the zombie cat, the spirit snake, and of course, lots and lots of hamsters. It's very, very cute. It's very simple and easy to play. Whoever can summon 8 creatures from beyond the veil to this ethereal plane that we all call home, by discarding enough cards to equal the cost of your high-powered card and avoiding some of the special effects that come with summoning creatures from hell, you get to claim the Necro Hamster, the throne. The crown and scepter become yours, and you become the new Necro Hamster Lord of the Underworld. And you have plenty of time to back it. You got 27 days to decide. It's a very cute game. What's not to love?
The hamster save your life.
Yeah! You win
Nah.
every time.
Now I shall present.
The court is rigged. The court is rigged.
I will put my own life on the line, for I have a reflection of myself. And if I don't deliver this well, I will give myself a disappointed head nod. So DMG mini painting system is something that I've been looking forward to for a little bit here. I have been intimidated by the hobby of painting minis, and this is an all-in-one set that I have been extremely excited for. There are 10 days left to back this Kickstarter. It ends August 29th, 2022. And you can transform your workspace with beautiful natural hardwood. The DMG mini painting system is flexible and a modular solution to keep your active materials front and center. Experience the highest quality all-in-one painting solution on the market. So like I said, it's modular and customizable. You can choose any number of components, including integrated shelving, interchangeable tiles, and handheld pedestal painters. Customize the ideal setup for your painting style, workflow, and table size. And of course, longevity is key here. So like all Dogmite products, the mini painter system comes with the lifetime guarantee. They'll continue to support the system on their retail website and the Kickstarter, and after the Kickstarter is fulfilled, so you'll be able to expand as your hobby grows. So if you're like me and you want to get into painting, but you just kind of haven't known where to start, this Kickstarter, I highly recommend. It's a great place to start. So
I propose we let a jury of our peers decide when the host gets to be the judge.
Good idea.
did you just recommend democracy?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll allow it.
Folks, Twitch chat, please, yay or nay. Tell us while we do our outro if you think Noir's DMG mini painting Kickstarter is thumbs up, thumbs down, yay or nay.
Oh, they're only vote for me. I thought they were voting for which one was their favorite. Well,
You already
no.
judged us. We've already had our.
Yeah, we've
that was
already
only
won.
Judging Noir, only Noir.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's thumbs up.
That's what's up. That's what happens.
Congratulations.
And you're lucky those hamsters were so cute. 2 hours to back. That's not how my bank account works. But that has been our episode of Table Takes. As always, I want to thank everybody who came to watch, everybody who helped us on the socials by retweeting, liking, and of course, I want to thank my fantastic co-hosts who make this seriously one of the days that I look forward to every week. This is just one of my favorite things to do. So thank you guys.
Thank you,
Coming up-
Marcus.
And of course, we got to thank Marcus, the Romper Lord
Marcus.
himself. But coming up next at 3:30 p.m., we've got Table Takes Game Night. And today we'll be playing Danger. The game. Then at 5 p.m., join us for some joyful gaming around Sarah's table. GM Sarah Moore is going to be playing a mystery game.
Involves animals. We know it involves animals.
So yeah, come see what that's about. Maybe they'll be as cute as those necro hamsters.
Hope so.
But if you like what you see here, trust us, we've got tons of other programming that you're going to love. So I'm just going to do a quick run through of the Gen Con TV streaming schedule. On Mondays at 4 p.m., join us with board games with the Brothers Murph. They'll join brothers Nick and Mike as they game together. On Tuesday at 4 p.m., Out of Character with Mark Tassin. On Wednesday, 6 p.m., Actoroki Series 3. And we've got quite a few stars of Actoroki right here with us right now. Graver's Dig Episode 4 script reading is what you can expect.
With Marcus Mays.
Oh,
yeah!
What?
The best voice actor ever.
It's like smooth butter.
Turns out he plays a pretty good vampire.
Oh, I can see it. I see it.
I can see it. Strahd who? On Thursdays at 10 a.m., come check out Blood on the Clock Tower. And then 4 p.m. same day, roll with Rim Alternus. And they interview with creators, developers, and Shadowrun. And then join us back here next Friday for more. 2 p.m. Table Takes, then Table Takes Game Night, and of course, Sarah's Table. Thank you all one more time. Just seriously, our show would be nothing without you. So if you like what you see here, please follow, like, subscribe, do all the things. And remember, if you miss any of our programming, you can check out the VODs here on Twitch or on YouTube 24 hours later. Follow GCTV here for more